Paluma Range by Allie and Anna. Paluma Range is located in North Queensland, Australia. It is part of the Wet Tropics and World Heritage Area. The Wet Tropics are one of the few areas worldwide that meet all 4 natural criteria for World Heritage. It represents a major stage of the Earth's evolutionary history. There is an outstanding example of ongoing ecological and biological processes. It contains superlative natural phenomena, and it contains the most important natural habitats for conservation of biological diversity. There's a lot of vegetation in Paluma, including waterfalls and mountains, and it contains the Jaruma Falls, Crystal Creek, and Lake Paluma.
Paluma Range is located in the northeastern part of Australia.
As you can see, Paluma Range is located in the right-hand corner, where it's mostly made up of mangroves and rainforests. This includes an abundance of vegetation and many species of animals, which all contribute to the making of our food web. It starts at the top of the map with our pink-flowered Euodia, which is the autotroph and producer. It then moves down to the primary consumers, the gray kangaroo and the Ulysses butterfly. They are both herbivores and heterotrophs. It then moves down to our secondary consumer group, the buff-rumped thornbill, Australian wood frog, and the green tree snake, who are all carnivores. Then it goes down to the banded cat-eye snake, Australian masked owl, and the water rat, which are a group of carnivores and herbivores. Finally, it moves down to the broad-snouted caiman, which is the tertiary consumer. The broad-snouted caiman is an omnivore and a heterotroph as well.
Our energy pyramid starts out in the first trophic level with the pink-flowered Euodia, which gets its energy from the sun. The pink-flowered Euodia receives the most amount of energy in our energy pyramid. Moving to the next trophic level, the butterfly and the gray kangaroo receive energy from the pink-flowered Euodia, also giving off heat energy from the sun, which goes into the environment. In our third trophic level, the buff-rumped thornbill, the Australian wood frog, and the green snake all receive energy from the previous 2 trophic levels. These animals also give off the energy that goes into the environment. In our fourth trophic level of the banded cat-eye snake, the Australian masked owl, and the water rat, which all receive energy from the previous 3 trophic levels. Finally, the broad-snouted caiman is the last of our trophic levels. It receives energy all the way from the pink-flowered Euodia in the modified form.
This picture of our matter cycle shows the hydrological cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the phosphorus cycle, and the carbon cycle. Throughout these 4 matters, humans play a big role in affecting how the natural cycles work. Starting with the hydrological cycle. Many humans remove large quantities of fresh water from rivers, lakes, and groundwater supplies. In areas where great amounts of people use the water from groundwater supplies, groundwater may be fully depleted. This effect is enhanced by vegetation removal to create new farmland or underground mines. Other ways that the matter cycle can be affected is through deforestation and combustion of fuels. There are both density-dependent and density-independent limiting factors that affect the populations in our ecosystem. An example of the density-independent limiting factor is the tropical cyclones. These cyclones have been happening more and more in Paluma Range. They remove forest canopy as well as change the landscape near coastal areas. Tree species, sugarcane, and banana crops have all been decreasing majorly in population. Density-dependent limiting factors are any factor limiting the size of a population whose effect is dependent on the number of individuals in the population. For an example, in 2013, the eastern common froglet was the most populated frog in Paluma Range. Now, less and less of these frogs are being found. Due to the abundance of the eastern froglet, snakes like the diamond python began hunting primarily eastern froglets, causing the population to make a rapid decline.
The largest human influence on our ecosystem is deforestation by illegally cutting down the trees. One of the social benefits include making space for houses and other resources by creating furniture and paper and creating ingredients that are highly prized consumer items, such as oil from trees, and also room for cattle ranching. By doing this, the risks include having consequences of illegally cutting down the trees. This also gives us an economic benefit because people with lumber jobs can create products such as chairs, tables, and paper. The risk of this includes illegal logging, which causes billions of dollars lost to the economy. The ecological benefit includes rebuilding new wildlife habits.
The global carbon cycle causes gas molecules to absorb thermal infrared radiation that are known as greenhouse gases. If these greenhouse gases are large enough in quantity, they can force climate change. Other effects that are caused are loss of species, lessen in population, soil erosion, life quality, and poor health. There are many things that we can do to protect Paluma Range from deforestation. First, reduce. Cut down fewer trees and use different resources to make new products. Also, by reducing our use of fossil fuels, we create less air pollution, which results in a lesser chance of acid rain. Next, we need to start reusing. If we reuse an item, fewer replacement items are needed. This helps to preserve more natural resources. Finally, we need to recycle. If we recycle paper, we prevent more trees from being cut down. About 1/3 of wood cut down from the trees is used to make paper and paper products. Just by following these 3 simple steps, we can drastically cut down the deforestation that's been happening.
Human culture in Queensland, Australia encompasses both Aboriginal Australian presence as well as the more recent European settlement. The northeastern Australian region was explored by Dutch, Portuguese, and French investigators. Overall, this ecosystem for many of the people in the culture became a benefit because it gave people more homes to live in rather than crowded spacing, and it also gave them a chance to communicate with the animals and discover new things in the rainforest.